Welcome to The Sear Show. Join us as we dive into the dynamic world of health, wellness, mindset, and fitness with the unparalleled guidance of lifelong knowledge seekers, Sifu Rafael and Nikki Gangemi. Sifu and Nikki will unlock groundbreaking insights with extraordinary guests from around the globe. You'll get the latest holistic approaches to well-being with a sharp focus on the powerful connection between mind, body, and soul. Get ready to take the leap. It's time to embrace a brighter and healthier future with us at The Sear Show.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Good morning, Nikki. I am back. I'm back.
You're back. Yay. Good morning, Sifu.
Good morning, Nikki. I am
great to have you back.
Thank you so much. I am super excited. I mean, we have two powerhouse women who are going to be joining us. Let's not waste any time. And today we're going to be talking about thriving through resilience and joy. Let's go ahead and welcome Deborah and Zoraida. Good morning, ladies.
Good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
So good to be
here.
here.
Great to see you both. Yes.
Good morning. It is.
Yes. One of the things that I love is communication and the voice, the intention behind our words are so powerful. And I think the resilience and the joy part is something that sometimes we lack in communication skills as well. Mm-hmm. So who'd like to run with that? Thriving through resilience and joy. Please.
I'll start. As you know, I wrote the book 6 Steps to Fewer Days That Suck. And the whole intention behind the book, with all the mindset shifts and everything, not preaching at you, is it's not about forcing positivity. It's about approaching life differently and welcoming in the joy. And it's really how you set yourself up and the approach, because we could be miserable or we could be happier and more joyful. And when we feel better, we do better. The people around us enjoy more. We're present in the moment, not thinking all those negative thoughts in our mind or going down rabbit holes. So small steps make a big impact over time. And flipping the script is what I talk about, what I teach, what I believe, and what I do. It's how you say something and how you reshape your thoughts and reframe your perspective.
Yes, love that. Love that. Zoraida, what are your thoughts?
Beautifully said, Deborah.
Thank you, Zoraida.
Joy isn't something that you chase, right? It's for me, it was learning to devote to self, right? Because I took chemo for 13 years. So my circumstances and my reality was different than the way I had to perceive it. Going back to Deborah's point, I had to change my perspective. And so the perspective was the devotion to self. I wanted my heart to be in peace, even though I had chaos around me. And so for me, I had to put the heart the leader and then make the mind and the ego follow and support. Because if I can't show up for myself, how am I going to show up for anyone else? I mean, my children were 3 and 6 years old when I got diagnosed. This wasn't just about me. So it affects everyone that you're surrounded by. So it took me a long time. I mean, it's a whole journey. I'm in thrivership now. I'm not in survivorship. So I had to learn to pour into myself, even though my circumstances look different. once I was able to do that, I'm able to give and serve others. That's so beautiful because I'm actually getting more back.
That's beautiful. I got to tell you, I am beyond shocked when you said 13 years in chemo. I know people who've done a stint in chemo and it's 6 months or whatever. I cannot imagine what you went through. 13 years of your body being attacked, if you will. But you're a survivor, and you're more than that now, right? You're thriving, and that's why we're having this discussion, because your resilience shows the character that you've always had. That I know, me personally, God walks with me, and I can see He was walking with you too, because it's such a tremendous challenge to even wake up every day and say, I gotta keep going. I can't give up.
Mhm.
Yeah. Yeah. I didn't walk this. I'm not walking alone.
No.
And this is coming from a kid born in the 1960s in the South Bronx of New York City with no religion, nothing, brought up by a mother who's agnostic. And I had to find something higher than myself.
Yeah.
And once I did, oh my God, he loved me. He hugged me. I wasn't alone anymore. It's how I became a cancer coach from a finance professional. I'm a project manager. I'm all about logic. I'm not about feelings. I don't do this work alone. And because of him, he showed me that there was a reason why this was happening. There were lessons here I needed to learn so that I can help my own community. See, I didn't do 13 years just to do 13 years. He has a mission for me. He gave me a purpose. So now I want other people who unfortunately get any diagnosis, not just cancer, but I want them to know that they can have hope, that it doesn't have to take the joy from their life, that they can find it here, even though everything doesn't look the way you want it to look, and it may look different, but here, like no one can take that piece away from you.
No.
That's my joy, the peace that I have here.
Yeah.
I'm going to share with you my phone image. That's when I pick up my phone, that's what I see. And it's 9:08, by the way. Because I realized, and somebody said, why don't you have, I love my kids and everything. Why don't you have a picture of your kids? I said, because I know who my kids are. They know who they are. But if you look through my phone, there's pictures of them. But my wall, my screensaver is of me walking with God, because he's, no matter what happens, no matter where I am, whether I'm happy or sad or whatever it is. And I got to be honest with you. Once I realized that He's walking with me, I don't think I've been sad.
That's awesome.
I don't allow that energy to seep in, because I love Deborah's pillow right there. It's constantly smiling. And that's what my heart is doing every day. So, and when we think about what you went through and what anybody else, whether they're being diagnosed today, tomorrow, or last week or 2 years ago, you have to find yourself, because self is the most powerful thing that you can do. Because to be honest with you, there's people who are going to help us, but we also need to start with us.
Yeah.
Putting the mask
Nikki,
on first.
I love to get your insights on what we're talking about, because I see you shaking your head, you're smiling.
Yeah,
You're feeling this conversation, right?
I am agreeing with everything that I'm hearing everybody say, from Deborah with paying attention to our thoughts and reframing them or reshaping them, and Zoraida saying that, it starts with you and filling yourself up so you have something to give. For me, joy, it is something that I've had to allow number one. There was a time, and there's still some times where I get a little too uncomfortably happy, and it's like, oh, it's like, let me bring myself back down to where it's comfortable. So feeling that it's safe to feel high levels of joy. And so to allow it, to invite it in, to be curious about it, and to remember that it's our natural state. I mean, look at babies. So when we can quiet the mental noise, when we can go inside, when we can ask questions, lean in and be curious, I feel like it's always available to us if we allow it and look for it.
Yeah. It is available. Sometimes we don't know where to look. Meanwhile, we're looking out. We forget to look in.
Yeah.
Right? We're looking for someone else to save us.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
We passed the mirror.
And I did that
all the
too.
time. Yeah, I'm sure you did. We pass the mirror all the time, but we're not really stopping and looking a little deeper past the facade.
Yeah.
And we're looking. Have you ever gone in front of your mirror and you just look, and then you look, and then you look, and then you go, wow, look at my eyes. And then you go a little deeper, and a little deeper, and a little deeper. And you spend a few minutes looking at yourself, not with hatred, not with, I wish I can change this, I wish I can do that, but with love. Because that is hard.
Yeah.
That is hard. And when you said, Zoraida, when you said, yeah, I had trouble with that, well, I did that too. And I said, yes, I'm sure you did. The reason I said I'm sure you did is because I've never known anyone not to, including myself.
Yeah. Yeah. And so I teach mirror work because I had to learn mirror work. And so I love that you mentioned this, because I look at myself in the mirror and I look in my eyes and I tell myself, I love you. You are fabulous. You are helping other people. You're becoming a better version of yourself. I mean, I tell myself whatever I need to tell myself so I can build myself up. Whereas we live in a society that really tears you down. So you have to build yourself up. And so one of the things that I love about what I do is when I meet a client, I help build their self-worth back up. Because here's the thing, when you get a diagnosis, I know it happened to me, may not happen to others, but my self-worth plummet because I was tied to my title. I was tied to the company I worked for, to the industry, to the money that I was making. And so that was my mind and ego. And I had to check that. Now I operate with my heart. My heart is the leader. So my mind and ego got to take they're great. Mind and ego are great. They get things done. They're creative. But when you lead with your heart, oh my God. Like you said, Sifu, there's such joy in that because you're rising. Oh my God, it's not a bad thing. It's always a good thing, but we don't live in a society that really encourages that. And so I love this conversation because what we're doing is we're giving people permission. That's my goal right now, to give people permission to love themselves and then love themselves some more.
Yeah, makes a lot of sense. And I use the looking in the mirror is part of my morning routine, because to sort of mitigate these cortisol spike that happens naturally, and the stress and the negativity that just starts first thing in the morning if you don't shut it down. I smile at myself because it's gifting happiness and also boosts your endorphins. And I hug myself for acceptance. And I say some positive words to myself, much like Zoraida does. And it really starts the day off on a better note. And those words I say, whether it's I bring positive energy or whatever it might be, or I am positive energy, however you want to frame it, it's what I carry with me the rest of the day and use that as a mantra and affirmation, because affirmations are wonderful, but if you don't act on them, if you don't put them into practice, it's just words that are hollow and don't mean anything. So it's all about, as we've been talking about, the intention. And as I go back to what I said originally, it's how we approach our day, our life, ourselves, how we show up.
I've done mirror work with people as young as 5 and people as young as 78. And the craziest thing is when I have them go in front of the mirror so they can see not only their face, but their whole body, is they'll get in front of it and all of a sudden their eyes are like,
People are uncomfortable, yeah.
they can't really look at themselves. So it takes a little while. And then so I start walking them through it. Look at this, look at your nose, look at your ear, look over here, look at your chin, look at your hair, look at your shoulders. And then all of a sudden I go, let's go deeper, let's go deeper, let's go deeper. And what winds up happening is people, I ask them to say, I love me. So many of them have a hard time saying it.
Yeah.
And then so many times tears start to well. And then all of a sudden they're bawling. All of a sudden they're bawling and they start hating me a little bit because they became vulnerable when they didn't want to. And all of a sudden they turn around and look at me. I was like, keep looking. Don't look at me. Keep looking at yourself, because it's not about me. It's about you. And then sometimes I keep them 15 minutes in front of a mirror. Sometimes a little longer. It depends on what they need, right? And then afterwards I say, now walk back a little bit. Because at one point I go, they're about 2 feet away from the mirror. I go, okay, move in a little bit, till they're almost touching their nose to the mirror. And now they have to really look. And then I get them to go back. Now we're 3 feet back, 4 feet back, 5 feet back. And now I said, now what do you see? For the first time in their life, they say, I see a beautiful person. But it takes time, because it's not easy for everyone to do. And when we can do that for ourselves, wow. And sometimes we need that help. We need the help, like somebody like myself or Nikki or Zoraida or Deborah, to help someone attain that love for themselves. And anybody watching this or listening to it on Apple Podcasts, realize that you're not alone. Just like Zoraida said, she's not alone. She realized it. Her mom didn't have the religion, but she found it on her own. Right? I grew up in a Roman Catholic church. I actually used to eat dinners with priests every night. Because my brother-in-law and sister taught at I was going to say synagogue, taught at the seminary, and then we used to eat with all the priests every night. But I didn't feel at home. I felt something, but I didn't feel at home when the church did not allow, and I'm not saying anything wrong with the church, except the fact that I didn't understand why the church did not allow marriage between a priest and someone else. And that is why I left the church. I go to a Christian church now, but for me, it's about family. And when I see the Roman Catholic Church saying everybody should have family except for these people, that's what drove me. I'm please don't send me any hate mail. I love everybody. I love everybody, even if you're Roman Catholic, Jewish, Muslim, whatever you are. Big hugs to everybody. Whatever you believe in, the most important thing you need to do is believe. Believe.
Be kind.
Yeah.
And be kind, right?
I said my piece.
And be kind to yourself as well. The mirror work was hard for me too when I first did it. It was hard for me to say I love you or I love me and look in my eyes, and I was uncomfortable. I did cry. One of the things when I did it for the first time, I looked in the mirror and I said, I love you. One of the first thoughts I had was, don't be so full of yourself. So there was a couple of times, earlier in my life where, and I was always hard on myself and didn't like myself. But there was a couple of times where I was proud of myself and I expressed it. And then I was told, don't get too big for your britches. You better check yourself. And I felt bad inside, like this embarrassment. So to avoid that feeling, I would just put my own self down. And then at least, then usually somebody will say, oh, come on, you're great, or you're pretty, or you're this, or you're that. But I got to avoid feeling embarrassed. So I had to work through that and get comfortable saying, I love you, or I love me, or you're a fabulous person, and be okay and feel like it's safe to say that. Took some time, but I got there.
There is a profession that is rewarded when people put themselves down, and that's the comedy profession.
Oh, right.
Yes.
Right? Comedians put themselves down consistently, and if they're doing 5 shows a week or 7 shows a week or whatever they're doing, think about that. You're negatively telling people about you, how you're so bad here, so bad there, right? And by the way, when you hear this, shh, that's Zoraida. She's got the incredible fighter planes flying over her, which is a really cool thing. So if anybody, we want to salute the military, because without them, we would not be the kind of country we are. So I am so grateful for them. And so many of my good brothers are in the military or were in the military. So big salutes to anybody who is or has been.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. Well, you know what? I want to go back to what Nikki said about the mirror work, because that happens a lot, Nikki. How people are afraid of being perceived as self-absorbed, right? And then the other flip of that coin is and I know this happened to me, I felt shame because I didn't forgive myself, because I was so hard on myself. Deborah, you can speak to this. I bawled when I realized that my mind and my ego were actually sabotaging my heart, and I was being my own worst enemy. And I had to forgive myself. And I cried so much. I mean, I still have to, when things come up, I wrote a forgiveness poem with the lunar eclipse in 2021. I was so moved by it. And I called it Forgiving Me and Ending My Forgiveness Tour. Now, I forgave everyone else before I forgave myself. Now I know that you forgive yourself first, and then you forgive everyone else. But these, all these emotions, I want people to understand that these are invitations to look inside and understand the message that is being sent to you. It's not a bad thing. So yes, you're crying in front of a mirror. You feel shame, you feel guilt, right? You may or may not. But those are messages. What is that trying to tell me? Maybe my self-worth has plummeted.
Yeah.
It's interesting that you say that, because my one thought to this is always, what I love about mindfulness, if you're meditating, even some people say they can't meditate, they can't find their center, but it's all about mindfulness is letting the judgment go, whether towards yourself or other people, your perceived thoughts that they're judging you. And I always say, people are too busy. Maybe they have a passing thought, but really they're thinking about themselves. They don't have a lot of time to judge you, think about you. So it's best to slowly let that go, flip that script, as I mentioned before, and just let the judgment of yourself or what might be holding you back because you think others are judging you, and just be you, authentically show up. Because yeah, it's easy for me to say, but all of us here have worked through whatever we needed to work through to get to the space we are, to be able to help other people also, as Zoraida said, become their best version. And that is something that we're always working on until we die. We have to show up for ourselves, be our best version. Don't have regrets in life. Don't get to the end of your life and say, I should have done this, or I could have done that, or why did I make everything so difficult? And yes, there's circumstances like Zoraida had, which is like life-threatening circumstances, which are much harder to overcome than just, oh, I don't love myself because, or being sexually abused, or whatever it is that people suffer. But just coming to terms with it, as Zoraida did, because nothing like that is, God forbid, and it doesn't happen to me yet, or hasn't happened. But it's just a matter of stepping into and showing up for yourself so that you could overcome whatever those difficult times, moments, 13 years is. So my hat's off to you, Zoraida, because look what you are now giving back to the world, a gift,
Yeah.
a gift that we all have to share, all of us, all of the people listening, so many gifts to share. So step into that instead of judging yourself or worrying about what other people think about you. Think about the gifts you can share outward with unto the universe, and make your little ripple, make life better for someone else.
Right.
There is something in, I believe it's in the Japanese culture, where they take say a broken vase and they put it back together, and they put gold where the cracks are. And it becomes this incredible, gorgeous piece that now the value is skyrocketed because it's the broken pieces that were put back together that really tell the story, right? So are we broken, or have we been putting ourselves back together? And I want to use platinum. I want to use gold. I want to use something, because I am who I am because of all my broken pieces, because of all my scars, because of all the trauma I've had, because of all the adversity I've had to face. Those are the things that really help us navigate who we're becoming. And I don't say this lightly, but I am grateful for all that I've suffered.
I totally agree. I feel the same way. And
What
so,
I'd like to do now, before go for it, and then we're gonna go to a commercial. Go for it.
Oh, okay. So I'll try to say this briefly. A lot of us have big traumas and little traumas. And it wasn't until I tapped into that and started working with a mental professional to process that trauma. And some of mine was past lives. So I'm talking childhood trauma, past lives trauma. I wouldn't have been this version of myself, because you can't give what you've never received, and or what you've never experienced. So if I wouldn't have taken that leap to say, there's something holding me back, I need to tap into that to find out exactly what that is, because I couldn't figure it out. It was me all along. Can't control the external. Once I tapped into that trauma, and I know about 3 past lives, I don't want to know about anymore. I'm done in this lifetime taking care of my family's generational trauma. I'm only going to work with the 3 I have. It opened me up. It's how I went from a finance project manager, executive assistant to a cancer coach, a cancer advocate, an author, a speaker. So there's a lot of bravery in doing that. And I believe we've all tapped into that. So I know that I'm in good company. So thank you.
Absolutely. Every day we get a chance to shine. And that's why I say what I say when anyone asks me how I'm doing. Right, Nikki, what do I say?
Exceptional and getting better every day.
That's correct.
I love it.
All right, take a listen, take a peek. You followed the rules, tried the restrictions, counted the carbs, the steps, and the failures. You're not lazy, you're exhausted from doing it all without real change. What if the problem isn't you, but the plan? Sifu's Mind-Body Method is a 90-day transformation built on 7 unshakable pillars: mindset, movement, nutrition, hydration, fasting, journaling, and faith. This isn't another shortcut. It's your structure, your strength, your reset. You don't need harder, you need better. Ready to begin? Start today. I got to tell you, I am so passionate about that program. And Nikki is a huge and powerful coach who's part of it. She's a mindful coach. And I'm loving what we're doing for some people. And people's lives are changing because we don't just, it's not a diet. Because we know diets don't work. It's a lifestyle.
Yeah.
And right now we're talking about a lifestyle of love, because I believe that every day we need to be thankful for the little gifts we have. Look, I have lungs, I can breathe, I can move my hand. Just last week, my sister had lung surgery. That's one of 2. She's having another one in a couple of weeks. She had her right lung, and they cut a piece of it off. And she was supposed to have this operation in 2013. By the way, I'm number 10 of 12, just so you know.
Wow.
So my sister was telling me that had she done this operation in 2013, the doctors told her she would need 24/7 care for 1 year.
Wow.
She had it last week. And it was 4 holes that they put in her, and it was through a robotics arms that went in there. She was able, and they told her she wouldn't even be able to pull up her own underwear.
Wow.
She's walking around, she's doing all this thing. The crazy thing that she told me is that this surgery was done when they had her in a seated position. And I'm like, what?
That's cool.
I said, were you awake? She goes, no, I wasn't awake. But technology has allowed us to think about it. She would have needed help for a whole year. And 2 days later, she's home walking around on her own without any assistance. Yes, she can put on the shoes, her pants, everything. So when we believe in a higher power, it's the higher power that allowed technology to come this far. And who knows where we're going to be. If you've ever seen a Star Trek episode where the doctor comes across with a little thing across somebody's broken leg, and 3 seconds later they're healed, they're walking around, I think that's coming too.
This is Harry Potter too. Oh,
Vroom, vroom, you're done, you're good. Keep going, right?
Yeah, that would be awesome.
A little bit of magic.
Yeah.
But we
Yeah.
have to believe that the technology is actually out there for things we don't even know. Things that we're going to find 50 years from now, it's available now. We just, the right person hasn't discovered it yet. And that's my belief, right?
Mhm.
Who is the gentleman that created? I'm going to test your history.
Mm.
Who is the gentleman who created a helicopter before a helicopter was ever even done? And he was not in the same century.
Before the Wright brothers,
Oh, yeah, way before the Wright brothers.
must have been
Way
Leonardo da
I-
Vinci.
Helicopter.
Leonardo da Vinci.
That's correct.
Of course.
Wow.
Mr. Vitruvian man.
He did the drawings for a helicopter.
I actually saw that somewhere in France where he had his home. Yeah, it's incredible.
So many
That's
things
incredible.
they're out there. We just haven't created it. So he actually did the blueprint, if you will, hundreds of years before, right?
Mhm.
So we have to have faith, is what I say.
Oh, yeah.
Gotta have faith.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Have
And right
faith
now,
in-
there's so much sitting in warehouses.
Mm.
Yeah.
You know, right
God-
now, there's a lot of drugs sitting in warehouses that can help people. It's just not the right time. For whatever reason, money, finances, the right backer. I mean, I know when I got my cancer, my drug had been sitting in a warehouse for 5 years.
Oh my
Wow.
goodness.
And I was lucky enough that when I got my cancer diagnosis, we were friends with the lead investigator on that drug because he works for a pharmaceutical company. And so he gave us the whole history on the drug, which is why now I understand why medication for chronic illness costs so much money, because it involves the overhead expenses of this drug sitting in a warehouse. It involves salaries. It involves materials and the services that go along with it. I never knew that. It just now, how lucky am I that I get a cancer that he put that drug on the market and created as a scientist. See, I found gratitude in that.
All right.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
It takes billions
And
of
when
dollars to bring a drug to market. I know I launched a few. I was a pharma rep before this, and it really does. When people say negative things or about you have to look at things in a balanced way, as you're doing now because it did save your life.
Yeah.
And it's expensive because it's not just it's studies. It's the phase 1, 2, 3, and then once it's on the market, post marketing, you see how it really reacts with bigger audiences. That's why bigger patient, with more patients, not just a controlled kind of study. So it's very interesting, and I have a lot of gratitude also for drugs. It saved one of my friends who got a B-cell transplant. I mean, there's a lot of things to be grateful for. Yeah.
Right.
Without a doubt. I mean, when Zoraida first said there's a lot of drugs in warehouses, I was like, oh no, she's talking about the cartel. Wait a minute, she clarified that medical
Yes.
drug. When you think about AIDS, I lost so many good friends because when AIDS first came out, but now people are living with AIDS. Look at Michael Jackson. Not Michael Jackson, Magic Johnson.
Yeah.
Not Michael. Michael's gone, right?
Right.
But
He had other problems.
Yeah.
so many people. And when I was doing interior design, a lot of people that I knew personally, all of a sudden they're not at work anymore, and they're gone. And going to funerals and stuff of that nature, it was not the coolest thing. But because technology, because of medicine, people are now living with that disease way longer. But we lost a lot of great people
Yeah.
because of it,
Yeah.
right? So thank God
We
for
did.
for technology and medicine.
Technology is beautiful.
Yeah.
But there's also a lot of negativity with big pharma, right? Because
Yeah.
I need, if I get, listen, I will fight any man. But if you see a tiny little bee, I'm running the other way. That little bee can kill me, right? It's like,
Yeah.
it's my thumb is bigger than that bee, and that little thing will kill me. But I will fight any man. I'll fight anything. But that little thing, I'm like, uh-oh,
Mm-hmm.
where is it going? Oh, I better run.
Right.
Oh, you going
And
down anaphylaxis from a bee sting?
I like a
Uh,
blood,
Yeah.
like a blood face, right?
Anaphylactic. Yeah.
So I have EpiPens everywhere. I shoot myself with an EpiPen, then I got to go get a steroid. And then what winds up happening is that the drug companies, when you
Yeah.
think about, I get it when you're first bringing the drug into the market, it's going to cost a lot. But once it's going,
It's
and
generic.
the drug now costs $5 to make, but they're selling it for $2,500.
mm,
Then there's a problem there, right?
mhm.
Same thing with the EpiPens. EpiPens is $600 for one shot, and I was
Wow.
like, wow, that's crazy.
Mhm.
And when I got the shot, one time I was changing a bulb. I was outside one of my buildings, and I had to climb a 18-foot ladder, and I'm up out there, and I put my hand in the socket, and I got stung.
Oh,
Right? By the time I climbed down the ladder, my arm was swollen. It was my
Wow.
right arm. And so I went to my office, and I'm shooting myself with the EpiPen. One of my instructors is passing by. They almost passed out because they're scary or whatever, scared. And then and they're like, "Oh my God, what are you doing?" And I'm like, "I'm shooting myself with an EpiPen." And then like, "What do you need?" I'm like, "You keep teaching the class. I'm gonna go to the hospital. I'll be back." I went to the hospital. They charged me $1,000, and I was like, "Wow, $1,000 just to get a shot." And then later on, I realized that all these clinics opened up all over the place. And the second time, the following time that I got stung, I said, "Let me check out one of these clinics." It was $175. I was like, "Well, that's better." So that's where people are so upset. And that's why that gentleman got killed,
yeah.
which is a shame because nobody should have gotten killed. But I think that opened up some eyes to say, wait a minute, we got to look at what's really happening here.
Mhm.
So yes, thank God for them, but also don't take advantage of us, right?
Absolutely. There's always that middle ground.
Yeah. Mhm.
5 years in a
That's what
warehouse
happens when we put.
waiting for you, right?
Mhm.
Thank
Yeah.
God that
Yeah.
that was already there, present for you.
Mhm.
And then
You know,
by
when we
that,
live in a society,
Go ahead, Deborah.
no, I just said, and by that, it helped so many others. So it's more than just Zoraida. It's, so you started
Mhm.
this from getting on the market or getting FDA approval or whatever needed to be, which is a big process. And it helped how many other people along the way afterwards. Fantastic. We create a ripple. We all can create ripples.
Mhm.
That's why we have to keep going and
Yes.
trying and going up.
Oh,
Right.
yeah. We need to create a ripple effect of joy and love.
Yes.
Be resilient.
And we're doing that right now by having this conversation, which is so great.
Right.
So thank you for the opportunity.
Yes.
Absolutely. So it's getting to that time where we actually are gonna unfortunately end the show. But here's the thing: we want people to connect with you. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna run your information across the bottom of the screen. So why don't we go ahead and go with you first, Zoraida, and tell us what people can expect when they go to your website.
So when people come to my website, they're going to learn about the 3 pillars of nutrition. So I have the mental, physical, and the spiritual. Very similar to your program, Sifu. So the mental is, working through those emotional blocks. It's learning those modalities, excuse me, that help us work through where do I belong? Where do I not belong? What does my heart need? What does it feel? What does it want? Right? Learning that devotion to self. Physical is nutrition, eating clean, and movement, because movement is important, right? And then spirituality, believing in something or someone higher than yourself. Doesn't matter who or what that is. And this is how I healed myself here.
Wow.
And so you're going to learn about the 3 pillars of nutrition. And if I'm right for you, contact me at ZoraidaMorales.com.
Love it.
And I work with caregivers as well. So I serve caregivers and cancer survivors, because we couldn't survive without a caregiver. And the caregiver may or may not have the tools to properly take care of themselves and other people.
Yeah.
I'm so happy you're here with us today. Thank you, Zoraida. Thank you so much.
Thank you for the invitation.
Absolutely. Deborah, you're up.
Okay. So my website is, because it's all about making daily decisions to show up as your best self, reframe thoughts, and reshape your perspective. So my website is the Daily Decisions with an S.com. And if you forget that, you can always go to deborahmallow.com or my book, 6 Steps to Fewer Days That Suck.com. It's all linked. And what you can find on my website is just join my Positive Energy Club. The pop-up shows up. It's free, complimentary, however you want to say it. And if you go to thedailydecisions.com/inspire, you'll be able to also download free worksheets on happiness, motivation, feel-good activities, simple things you can do each day to just boost your endorphins, because it's important to have tools that you can just use before going down the rabbit hole, so you can flip the script. And you can also, on the website, there's a link to my Amazon page to buy my book, 6 Steps to Fewer Days That Suck, and lots of buttons to connect with me, email me, it's there. So that's it. And I just want to thank you, Sifu. It's been a pleasure, as it always is. And meeting you, Nikki and Zoraida, it's a joy. And everyone out there listening, give yourself a hug, appreciate yourself, accept yourself, because you are a gift. You matter.
Oh, you do. Thank you so much, Deborah, for being here with us as well.
Thank you.
Nikki Gangemi, my incredible co-host. It's your turn, my dear.
Thank you, Sifu. Well, you can go to my website, which is my name, nikkigangemi.com. I've got plenty of free resources for you to dive right into, including my CALM method, CALM. It's a 4-step framework for how to manage those thoughts in your mind and reframe them and get to a place of confidence and taking action that is aligned. So you can check that out, and I will turn it over to you, Sifu.
Well, thank you so much, Nikki. I do have, you can always go to sifurafael.com, and you can, we talk about communication there, because I also have a communication school. But also, if you're looking to reset your life for healthier days ahead and a longer life, and longevity is my jam, if you will. Just put at the end of it SMBM, right, which stands for Sifu's Mind Body Method, which is teaching you the 7 pillars, which actually we have 8, but we can't tell you the 8th until you join. So we don't have secrets. We just want it for the people who make a commitment. So go ahead and reach out to me, and if there's any way I can be of help to you, that's what God has put in my heart, to be of help. So thank you. And ladies, you need to come on my other shows as well, right? Nikki's been on all of my shows, I think. Maybe she's got to come on some more as well. Everybody, thank you so much. Everybody listening. And by the way, in 10 minutes, I have another show called Coachable, and we're going to have a blast on that one too. Everybody have yourself a blessed and beautiful day. Take care, everybody.
Take care.
Bye.